Hello everybody, Brad here today and welcome back to Project Hospital Infectious Diseases DLC. So thank you once again to Oxymoron Games for letting me have an early key. So guys, we're going to start off today with a little experiment. So make sure you're subscribed down below to make sure you see all of my wacky experiments. Well, this isn't so wacky. So, right, basically we've got this chap, Mr. David, Mr. Wilson has come in. Now, he's come into the Infectious Diseases Department, even though we have the Internal Medicine Department, but he's come into the Infectious Diseases Department. Now, we could have MERS or SARS. Now, SARS is definitely highly contagious, as you can see. Is MERS as well? Yes. So if he has got one of those two infections, then it's going to be highly contagious. And I want to see how easily these infections and diseases spread between patients. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on Mr. Wilson, and I'm going to keep a very close eye, if I can click on her, Mrs. Allen, because we're pretty much certain she's got COVID-19. So what we're going to do is we're going to put both of these people not in the isolation ward, which is here, which has specific barriers and protections against patients, you know, being able to talk to each other, and basically if they're in the isolation ward they are not going to be spreading these infections to one another. However, what I've done, and I've actually not done it very well, is I've split the regular ward. Well, I've actually unsplit the regular ward because this was split into two different rooms. So what we've done is we've deleted the wall, so this is now one large regular ward. So we're going to have them both in here, and we're going to see, actually what I'm going to do, let's delete these beds here. We're going to delete them. We can pop them back in later. So we've got, let me get that bed there please, and that. Right, so we've got two beds looked right next to each other. I hope that they're going to both go in there, and then we'll see if Mr. David Wilson, did I get your name right? I did. See if David catches COVID, and if he has SARS or MERS. I wonder if Elizabeth could also catch MERS or SARS. So that's going to be our little experiment just to see what happens. Let's also get Elizabeth on that, and we want to really make sure that she goes for regular hospitalization. I don't really care about the treatment, not at the moment. It's an experiment, guys. It's an experiment. We don't care about the treatment. We just want to see if other patients are going to be catching these diseases. So hopefully we need to basically work on David being hopefully diagnosed with one of these two diseases. So we need to do some temperature measurement. That's been done now. Abdominal palpitations. Oh, they're not here. Oh, okay, I don't know why. Interview, CBC, interview, RT-PCR, physical temperature. Okay, so lots of these have been down. We've actually got new, so that actually could be plague as well. So can I do an abdominal palpitation yet please? No. Well, let's get the RT-PCR started, and let's do CBC as well, and then we can do maybe differential diagnosis. He's got one more hidden symptom. Has she been transported? Where's our other lady? Elizabeth. Oh, she's going now. So let's just follow her. She should be going, hopefully, to the regular ward, not the isolation unit. Go away, objective. I've also got some new ambulances. See, I've got the new ambulances look in the game. Look how cool they look. So you can change these colours here on the side, which are the stripes and like the hospital logo. There's lots of different colours and they look amazing. I really, really like them. They look a lot more like the UK versions as well, which is great. So yeah, she's in the regular hospitalisation. So we're going to keep it on player control. We want to keep her alive. So let's give her these things, but we're not going to give her the antiviral therapy yet. We'll treat her in the end, but I just want to do this experiment first. So David, so still not sure. So it's been whittled down even more. Could still be some of these highly contagious things. So let's do CRP. And I think that's it again for the moment. We kind of want these lab tests to be done first. But what we can do is, while we're waiting for that, we can actually say, right, go into regular hospitalisation. So we know that David has not got chance at the moment of having COVID-19, but we know that Miss Wilson does have COVID-19. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I don't believe staff can contract these illnesses and infections, but we'll see. So go and cough and sneeze on that lady, please. Only for the oh, someone else has bloody gone in there now. Who's this? What are you doing in my ward, Kate? Botany's fever. Wow, okay. Doxycycline, okay. And then we'll also give you these other things. I mean, for some reason you haven't had these tests done yet. But then we will also give you these other bits. And that means that we need to get some more beds in here now. So, I mean, what I'm actually going to do is delete that, delete this bookshelf. Because I don't know if it's going to work on proximity to other patients. So let's get one more bed like that, and hopefully he'll come into here. Oh, I've put in a modern bed, haven't I? Well, you can have a modern bed. We're going to be nice to you, David. We're going to be nice to you. Right, so you go in there. Is he going in there? Yes, lovely, lovely. Right, now Elizabeth, we'll put you on default control. I don't think it matters if you do get your treatment, but let's see what happens, because this lady here could also start contracting COVID-19. So what we're going to do is favourite these people. I know obviously I just changed her, but we will put them all on favourite so we can check on what's happening. So let's do chest. We just need to do some more tests for you, David. Microbial cultivation. Yeah, we kind of just need to do all the lab tests, really, just to make sure that we're, you know, we have all of these tests done, so we know exactly what's wrong. Oh, look, she's going in a little. What do you call it? I'm gonna call it the. I don't know. What can I call it? The tank stretcher. The tank, fish tank in a stretcher. Oh no, she's being transported. I knew that was gonna bloody happen. I can't say no to that, can I? Damn it. Because that's also a required room, right? Yeah. Okay. So we basically need to stop putting patients on default control, because it is just going to pop them in here, which is unfortunate, but we can't do much about that. We've got to see the new stretcher as well, so that's fine. So David, you better bloody stay in here. You better stay in here, David. So hopefully these lab tests are going to find out what's wrong with him. I think we've got a new patient just down here. He's got African tick bite fever. So let's get him in regular hospitalisation as well. Because what that's going to do is it's going to make sure that if David does have one of those SARS, MERS, bubonic plague, hopefully he can spread it around. So let's get this chap in there as well. Where's he gone? He's actually going somewhere else for some reason. Okay. Is he down? Wait, where are we? Oh, he's in a trauma centre. Okay. Right. What's happening with her now? She's going for some tests. Or some hopefully some treatment, because we know it's COVID-19. Kate Thomas. Recovered another symptom. It looks like we're really starting to treat all of her symptoms, which is great. So I think that's all of the patients so far, which is awesome. So are we going to get any more patients coming into our clinic? The clinic of death at the moment, because you can have quite a high risk of maybe contracting a highly contagious disease. But you've got these new lovely benches to sit on whilst you wait, because we're so kind. So, you know, you never know, guys. You never know, do you? Right, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit and we'll see how our experiment goes. I think my experiment worked, guys. I think it worked. So, David Wilson was confirmed as having SARS-CoV. So, and we've also got him in this regular ward, haven't we? So the experiment worked, right? Because look, we've just got a flash notification to say an infectious patient got hospitalised outside of the isolation unit. And as a result, a part of your hospital got infected. Staff must now wear face masks and will work slowly. So, I assume this doctor here is fine. Yeah, I don't know where it would say it. So I believe he's just going to work slower now. And we've also got, oh look, we've got this here. So he is actually infected. So he's infected. So he's going to work slowly. He's going to wear a face mask. This lady here as well, no. What about this lady? Has she now contracted? No, she's a favourite patient. So it doesn't look like she's contracted anything yet. So let's play the game. Everyone's wearing face masks everywhere in this department. So is that hospital-wide or just this department? It's hospital-wide. Here over in internal medicine, everyone is wearing a face mask. And it lasts for 2 days. We have an epidemic outbreak. Look. So what's going to happen now? Okay, so what it does is it automatically is going to now put Mr. Wilson into the isolation department, well, the isolation ward over here. So that's fine, I'm happy with that. But what I expected to see is this patient here to contract SARS-CoV. So what we can do now is we can say that he can go on to controlled by doctors because you don't care about him anymore. This lady here we're going to monitor because she might contract it. This lady here, she went over to the isolation unit, didn't she? So we have one more hidden symptom. So let's do a differential diagnosis just to see if we can get that last hidden symptom here for Elizabeth Allen. And she can go on controlled by doctors also. So Paul King we're going to keep in here because I was hoping that we also might see that Paul King might contract some other disease. So he needs the chloramphenicol, which is a... So he's got African tick bite fever. So this is an antibiotic. So let's give him that. He's got one hidden symptom. So what I'm going to do is be on Thomas Lewis to get your differential diagnosis to hopefully see what this hidden symptom is. And we're also going to give you all these other treatments. Right, and we're going to keep you two here to see if that, to see if you're going to get the infections, the highly contagious infections. So these nurses, yes, these are not infected. She's fine, he's fine, and then that one doctor was infected. So this nurse isn't. This nurse is. So this nurse is infected. So she is going to work slowly. And I think is this doctor here? No. But what doctor was it? Does it say here? No. Yes, you. John Martinez is. You're not. You are. You're not. You're not. You are. You're not. You are. You are. You are. You are. You're not. You are. Wow. So with lots of infected staff. Which is interesting because I thought it was the other way round. I thought it was the patients that were going to get infected, and I assume they still can. So we've found your last symptom, which was the ricket. Is that rickets? I don't know if that's rickets or not, but it's rickettsia, rickettsia. I don't know, guys. Hashtag words. So Paul King. Okay. So we now want to just see, what happens here. So does this mean that we can still get patients? I'm not too sure. Like, these doctors still working here? They are, but they are walking much slower. Okay, that's interesting. So we're going to see how this goes. But it looks like at the moment, the only kind of consequence of putting highly contagious patients in a regular ward and not an isolation ward is that your doctors, nurses, janitors... Oh yeah, I didn't check janitors, did I? How about you? So I don't know about janitors. I assume they can also get infected, but all it seems is that these patients now just work a little bit slower, which is, kind of a consequence, I guess. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a consequence, but we'll see what happens. Oh, my cameras keep going a bit mental. So you're still fine. You have no other hidden symptoms here. Let's check Paul. No other hidden symptoms here either. Okay, so my approach, what I'm going to try and do when I'm treating patients from now on is I think I'm going to try, and if there's any indication that these patients have a highly contagious disease, I'm just going to put them in the isolation ward and then do all of the tests from there. You know, I think that's the best way forward. Personally, that's my personal opinion. Just to keep efficiency within the hospital up. But, you know, I imagine these wards are quite expensive to build. Let's have a look at the prefab here for infectious diseases. So regular ward, isolation unit. So one isolation unit is $11,000. Wow. Okay, so it's expensive, you know, because we go to emergency, and how much is one or small observation room? 12,000. Okay, but that can fit 2 patients, so I don't think it's overly expensive. So we've got a patient here, look. He's actually going to internal medicine, but he could have COVID-19. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the hospital is going to deal with this, because if he has got COVID-19, I'd rather him be going to infectious diseases, because we really want to see if it, you know, if he does have that. So let's get him in isolation. Then we're going to do physical exam, temperature. Let's also do, what do we want to do? Temperature we're going to do. Okay, thorax perfusion we can do. So hopefully he's going to go in here and then hopefully straight to the isolation hospitalization, where I hope that he can have his test done there. Yeah, so he's going to walk through here. He's going to walk through here. So he's not wearing a mask, is he? No, okay. And he's going to go into the isolation ward. Let's spin around. Right, so we've got a few patients in here. Like we've got, who's this? We've got David Wilson with the SARS. We've got Joseph with septicemic plague. Let's give him some more meds there. And then we've got Elizabeth Allen with COVID-19. So let's have a look at Fraser. We're going to see if we can try and get to the bottom of his diagnosis. So we're still not sure. So what other tests can we do? Thorax perfusion, speech listening, physical exam, ELISA. Okay. So it is pneumonia. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually say that you can now go over to internal medicine, and then you can now have all of your meds, more examinations to see your hidden symptoms, etc. So how are these guys going? Yep, you've still just got Bhutanese fever. You've still just got African tick bite fever. So, I mean, to me, it looks like it's actually staff that get infected, not patients. I could be wrong. I haven't tested it as thoroughly yet as I would like to, but we'll see what happens. So you just need to go to ICU. Go to ICU, Sarah, and they will sort you out. So what we're going to do is we're going to carry on working through this. I'm going to skip through the night. If we don't see any more patients, if we do see more complex patients coming into the hospital, we will of course treat them. So I'm going to put these guys both on default treatment now by doctors and see what happens. But I will see you guys when we have some more patients coming in to our infectious diseases department. But the experiment at the moment looks like it's staff that get infected and then have reduced efficiency in the whole hospital. So staff in the whole hospital have to wear face masks and gloves. Staff in the infectious diseases department have lower efficiency. Although this nurse here is walking slowly, even though she's not got any slow moving perks here, and she's infected and she works in internal medicine. So it looks like any member of staff can get infected in your hospital and then have lower efficiency. So let's see how the experiment continues to play out, because it looks like these patients are not going to get infected with the highly contagious diseases that we saw in this ward. So let's continue. Let's continue here, and hopefully we get some more complex diseases that we're going to have to treat, even though our staff are running at lower efficiency. So I'll see you very, very shortly, guys. Okay, so what I think happens, guys, is I we haven't seen any patients coming into our infectious diseases clinic since we've had the epidemic. We've only had patients coming in now already in the hospital in other departments and then being transferred here when they have their routine examinations and they actually find out that they're suffering from an infectious disease. So I think what happens is when you have an epidemic, your staff become slow and not quite as efficient. And I believe it also closes your clinic. So I've just had this pop up, it's midnight on day 4, and we've just had this pop up saying all of your staff has returned to normal. You survived the epidemic outbreak. So now I think we could start seeing patients start coming back in to our infectious diseases clinic. So that's very interesting. It's interesting to see how it's going to affect the game. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, it's normally a bit quieter at night time. So what I'd like to do is maybe try and treat one more patient today, and we'll see how that goes. One of my new ambulances have just also left the hospital. So guys, hopefully I'll see you shortly with a brand new patient coming into the clinic. Look at this new ambulance, look how cool it looks. Oh, it looks so good. Right, so he, she, them. He, hello. So he's come into our trauma centre with a few things here. Look, let's do a physical exam. Hopefully we can see what's wrong fairly urgently. Go away, Charles. Stop. Oh, he died. Oh, sorry, Charles, you died. Oh, well. So, let's have a look here. Chest, CT. Let's do chest. Let's do that. And we can also do CT if needs be. So we're still not sure. Let's go up to CT. We're kind here. We'll make sure that he gets the expensive treatments to make sure what's wrong with Mr. Peter Williams. So I don't believe we have anyone else coming into our infectious diseases clinic yet. We've got a few patients in our regular ward. We've got Jane Wilson, who's suffering from Marburg syndrome, which is a virus disease that affects humans and non-human primates, caused by some type of Marburg virus. We've already seen that before, I believe. We've also got Robert Garcia, who's suffering from if I can speak, yellow fever, which is a tropical viral disease that is spread by the bite of an infected female mosquito. It is caused by yellow fever virus, an enveloped RNA virus of the family Flaviridae. Very interesting. We've also got back here, if I can click on him, Charles Allen, who's suffering from a norovirus, which is also called the winter vomiting bug, and it's a highly contagious virus that causes diarrhea and vomiting. So even though it's highly contagious, I believe he's in here because it's not fatal. I mean, I would rather him in isolation because I wouldn't want anyone getting that. But I assume that's why it doesn't say highly contagious, because it's not a life-threatening virus, even though, I don't know, I would personally prefer him in isolation. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any patients coming into the clinic yet. Do not fret. We have 100% not seen the last of this DLC, guys. Of course, there's going to be tons of videos coming out, having a look at hopefully the majority of all of these different new infections, diseases, viruses, illnesses, all of that kind of jazz. So I'm going to leave it. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, not in real life, but it is in the game. So I'm going to go and have a snooze. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed the episode today. It was a bit different, doing a bit of experimenting. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you very, very shortly, again, looking at the brand new infectious disease DLC for Project Hospital. Guys, take care of yourselves, and I will see you later. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel down below if you haven't done so already. And please feel free to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Have a great day. See you later.